arguably the most popular dessert on the planet, and today we're going to be making them vegan with a twist you're going to love. Hi there, I'm Chef Jess coming to you from Vegan Gastronomy. We are located here in the beautiful Cycladic island of Naxos here in Greece. And here at the Vegan Gastronomy kitchen, we are showing you expert tips and techniques of how to make vegan cuisine. So don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel so you don't miss more of these videos, making masterclasses and making things vegan. So there's a good reason why donuts are arguably the most popular dessert in the world. Well, they are also the oldest dessert recorded in history. Yes, they were actually recorded in 776 when they were served as prizes at the first Olympic Games right here in Greece. Can you imagine? So let's get into it. I did say that there was going to be a little bit of a twist to our donuts today. As always, we're making everything vegan, plant-based here in the Vegan Gastronomy kitchen, but we're doing a little bit of a twist on the flavors. So today I'm combining two things that might seem a little bit unusual, but as a flavor pairing work excellent together. Those two being coffee, and we are using some Nespresso coffee caps in the ristretto, which is one of my favorites, and sweet potato. So as we know, a lot of the time when we're eating donuts, we're also eating them with coffee, of course. If you're someone who doesn't like very sweet desserts, you're gonna love this one. If you're someone who likes more bitter desserts or things like caramel flavors or chocolate flavors, you're gonna love this. So to start off with, you wanna roast your sweet potato, and I'm actually gonna blend this with the skin and everything to add a little bit more fiber. So once these are all cooked up and nice and soft, just chop them up and stick them in your food processor and turn them into a puree. We love to encourage our students to use local produce, and these sweet potatoes come right here from the island here of Naxos. We're actually famous here in Naxos for our potatoes because they grow very close to the Mediterranean Sea and are like almost seasoned already before you even cook them. So once you have your sweet potato pureed and measured out, we're going to be adding that to a large bowl. I'm using my KitchenAid or my stand mixer. So we're just going to add that, along with, of course, our coffee. Now, as I mentioned, I am using the Nestle Nespresso capsules in the ristretto, but you can use your favorite one at home. I love this flavor because it is a full-bodied Italian roast, and it's at the level 10, so it is quite strong. And I have pressed that into my coffee machine on the long shot. I did 2 shots or 200 mils. So that's going to go in also. Just make sure that you bring it to room temperature. To that, we're going to be adding some flour. I'm using some all-purpose or plain flour. And our yeast. Now, I'm using the fresh yeast, but you could also use the dry yeast. And if you're looking for the recipe, just click down and you'll find it in the description below. So pop your yeast in, get all of those ingredients onto your mixer. We're going to mix this up and then set it aside for 30 minutes. Did you know that Nestle is the largest food company on the planet? And we love that they've really focused their attention to vegan food. And of course, if you're a coffee lover like me, I love to be able to use some things that I already have in my kitchen to create some unique desserts that you can share with your friends and family. So it's been 30 minutes, and as you can see, all of our mixture is starting to get really nice and bubbly, so we know that our yeast is nice and active. So we're going to add our remaining ingredients here for our delicious sweet potato and coffee donuts we are making. So starting off, we need some white granulated sugar. Next in, we have some softened margarine, vegan of course. And then we also are going to be adding some vanilla, about a teaspoon. You can just do it by eye. We also have some salt, some other flavor profiles that work fantastically with sweet potato being nutmeg, some orange zest as well, and you can add as little or as much as you like. Then we have some all-purpose flour, so this is our second measurement of all-purpose flour. And of course, it wouldn't be a donut without eggs. So of course, we are making our donuts here today completely vegan. So we are using a vegan egg replacer called Panis Egg. You can find it on the freakfromthat.com website. Check out the link attached below. Now, what is egg doing in this recipe? Well, it's going to give us a beautiful tender crumb to our donut. It's going to add foaming abilities, emulsification, and keep our donut nice and moist. So let's get that in, back on the mixer, and we're going to knead this until we get a nice gluten structure. Okay, so we've been kneading our donut dough for about 8 to 12 minutes, or until it starts coming away from the sides and we have nice gluten structure. Now, once we get to this stage, you want to transfer it to a greased container or bowl. I like using a clear one so I can see through it. And we're going to allow this to proof on our bench for 1.5 hours or until it's tripled in size. Look at that beautiful silky dough. So our dough has been proofing in the refrigerator, as I mentioned before, for a minimum of 4 hours or up to 16 hours. So this is a great thing to do the day before. So in the morning you can have beautiful fresh donuts. So I've just taken my dough out of the fridge, and you will notice that it will have risen again a little bit. And I've just set up on my bench here just a nice clean surface area. We're going to sprinkle a little bit of flour, and either side of me, those colourful sticks that I have here are just some rolling guides. So you can do this by eye, but I like to use some rolling guides to roll out my dough just to get the perfect thickness. And the thickness that we're looking for is about 1.25 centimetres or ½ an inch thick. So I'm just going to pull my dough right out of here. And we're going to sprinkle a little bit more flour on the top and roll it out to our desired thickness. So once you have your dough to the thickness that you would like, we're going to start cutting out our donuts. I'm doing a classic donut shape, which is the round with the hole in the middle. And you want to use a size which is around 8 centimetres. So I have that here, and then about 1 inch for the circle in the middle. And do you guys know why there's a hole in the middle of donuts? Well, there's a good reason. Donuts used to just be this round shape. But a lot of the time, a lot of chefs were having difficulty cooking them all the way through. So they put the hole in the middle so you get more even baking and frying, and it cooks all the way through a lot faster. So once those have been cut out like so, you want to grab yourself some little sheets of baking paper which I've cut into squares, and just put each of your cut out donuts onto those and then onto a baking tray, and just continue to repeat that. So once you've cut out all of your donuts, you can, like me, put it into your proofer if you have one, or you can just grab yourself another tray of the same size, just pop it on top, and you want to let those to bench proof or proof until they double in size. And that can take anywhere from 20 minutes to about 30 minutes. So while our donuts are proofing, we can make our coffee glaze. So this coffee glaze is made with Nestle Carnation sweetened condensed milk, or you can use any type of sweetened condensed milk. I love this brand because it's really convenient and it works great for this recipe. So an entire can of sweetened condensed milk. And to that we're also going to be adding some brown sugar, and that's going to give a lovely flavour to complement our coffee. And it wouldn't be a coffee glaze without our coffee, so we're using that same Nespresso, and I did 2 capsules in the short shots. And we're using the ristretto again, straight into our saucepan. And we're gonna get this over a medium heat, mix it whilst it's melting down and it gets nice and thick. Okay, so as soon as your sauce, your caramel sauce with the coffee gets to 120 degrees, we can turn the heat off and add our vegan margarine along with about half a teaspoon or as much as you like of the vanilla. And you just want to whisk everything together until all that butter, vegan butter, is completely melted. And then just pop it into a small bowl over a simmering saucepan of water, and that's going to keep it at a nice liquid state. Now that our donuts have been proofed, now we're ready to fry. So make sure that you start off with your fryer nice and hot. We have it at 190 degrees Celsius, and don't forget, just check out the description box below for all the instructions. Now carefully lift it up on your baking paper, and we're going to pop these into our fryer very carefully, and we're going to fry each side for about 2 minutes before we flip them over. So now that you have your donuts all fried up, I have some here already, which have been draining and cooling. So we have our coffee caramel glaze that we're going to dip into. We've had that over our bain-marie just to keep it nice and soft and liquid. So just with your donuts, just upside down, just make sure you give your caramel a little bit of a stir. Pop that in. A little bit of a bounce. Then onto your tray, and then just continue those with all of those. Did you ever wonder why donuts and cops go hand in hand? Well, police officers generally have very low income, and donuts was a fast food that they could afford. And after World War I, it was one of the only establishments that were open during the strange hours that they would be working. So once we have all of our glaze onto our coffee, sweet potato, donuts, I've got some tea coffee cookies here, and I think this is a nice addition. You can just give them a little bit of a crush, and any type. I've got a cocoa one here, and then I've also got a spiced cinnamon cookie. So you can go over your donut while that frosting is still a little bit wet and add a little bit of crunch to your donut. Isn't that fun? So we came down here to the Naxos police station, but unfortunately because of the law we can't film the building or inside. But as you can see, most of our donuts are gone, and very happy police officers with their donuts. And many of them were also very excited to learn that donuts came right here from Greece. Many of them actually said everything is invented here in Greece, which is funny because we do find many things that actually come from here, so there's a lot of history to learn. We have some left for you guys.
Thank you.
Yes, we were very excited to learn that donuts were invented here in Greece. And in these donuts, we're using the potatoes from the island and coffee.
Local products with coffee.
Yes, because we know you guys love coffee and all about the potatoes. So